shotguns. Oh my god.
What's up everybody, how's it going? Now if there's one shotgun that is often overlooked in Warzone nowadays, let's be real, it's the Gracey Auto. Pretty much all of the other Vanguard shotguns, the double barrel, the einhorn, even the combat shotgun to an extent, have had their time to shine with somewhat downright just stupidly overpowered setups and ridiculous range setups. The Vanguard shotguns were a king of Warzone when it came to shotguns in general. Then you had the Gracey Auto sitting over there in his strange little corner of Identity Crisis, where he should be a full auto, but he's just another Gallo Origin clone with absolutely horrible damage and range. The ground loot version of this gun is just awful, and I don't really ever recommend picking it up over pretty much anything but a pistol, just because it's going to take pretty much all 5 of your shots to get that kill past 3 meters, it feels like. But as you know, Vanguard shotguns got hefty nerfs recently. Did the Gracey Auto? Yes, but slightly. I mean, we're talking very slight. The real difference here is that up close, the Gracey Auto used to be able to 2-shot with a headshot up close with just a normal ammo, but now it's back down to a 3-shot. So no more 2 shots with just the base ammo type. But now with the other shotguns, we have no more crazy range combat shotgun, einhorn, or double barrel. So now the Gracey Auto has just a little bit more room to compete. Not a lot, but a little. And I gotta be honest, the class I'm gonna show you is pretty good, it's consistent, but most of all, it's just fun as hell. And I think this gun actually can compete up close. A lot of people are writing this thing off left and right, probably because they use the ground loot build and just die from it, or they're trying to use one of those big magazine attachments, the 10-round drum, which just slows down that rate of fire so bad. But with the right setup, you can make this thing an absolute beast up close, and it's just such a fun build. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about fun. So what I want to do is go into the gunsmith, talk about the class setup, and talk about how it works and why I think you guys should try it out, and give my take overall on the gun, because it's a lot of fun. I think you guys should try this build in particular, and just go in thinking this isn't really going to be a massively competitive gun, but it's kind of fun and hilarious to use. So let's get into the gunsmith. Okay, so a little bit of a different setup. Instead of just showing you a picture, I'm going to go through the class and go by each individual attachment and kind of walk through it. So first off, for the muzzle, full choke, pretty much a given. None of these attachments really do much for the gun. Yes, they do what they say they do, but they're not really worth it. Accuracy, it's only for aiming down sights, and even when you use the full choke, you get a tighter spread when you're aiming down sights anyway, so there's just really no point to using the brake at all. Now, for the barrels, there's only 2 to really be concerned about, I would say, and that's the Chariot Sport barrel, because it gives you a nice bit more range, but the Chariot barrel isn't anything compared to the Rapid barrel, in my opinion, because this Rapid barrel helps that rate of fire, basically increases your time to kill by a good bit, and it makes it feel like more of a spammy shotgun should with that fast rate of fire. So even though you lose sprint to fire speed, it doesn't matter. We're going to have gung-ho. So this is honestly probably the best barrel because it doesn't even hurt range, which is surprising to me. When I discovered that, I was kind of surprised because most of the time you're trading off range for that rate of fire, but not with this one. So that's pretty awesome, and it's generally the one I go for. For optics, doesn't matter. You can be one of those guys that uses a recoil reducing optic. Doesn't really make much of a difference, so do whatever you want. It's goofy. For the stocks, this one's a little unorthodox. Most people probably prefer removed stock because you get movement speed and all these other perks, but really the only thing I'm concerned about is movement speed and hip fire accuracy. That's why I go with this barrel, because we want that nice tight spread when we hit fire to make it more consistent. All these other stocks don't really do much in that regard. Recoil control, accuracy, sprint to fire speed, doesn't matter. We have gung-ho. Movement speed is nice, and you get the most out of this stock when it comes to movement speed, the no stock, I should say. And this one, accuracy, recoil control, meh, doesn't really matter. We're not going to really aim down sights with this build. So I opt for this one because it gives you a little bit of movement speed and also some hip fire accuracy, which is overall great for this gun. For the perks, I use gung-ho. Honestly, you can use spotter as well. It's just that with spotter, you're going to have to focusing with your other attachments on sprint to fire speed, and gung-ho just kind of eliminates that worry. So you can tack sprint around as much as you want to your heart's content, and you're not going to be penalized when you shoot. So I really like that. It's invaluable for a shotgun like this. Spotter is good. It does actually give you range. It takes your max damage range from 3.6 to about 4 meters, I believe. So it actually helps. It is lethal. Your gun is more lethal, but it's a trade-off, right? So either of these is good. I would say go for gung-ho though for this particular build. then I would say fully loaded or quick. It's kind of preference. Quick is also very good, but I just like having a little bit more ammo when I start with the gun. Now for the rear grip and under barrel, the real thing I'm focusing on here with this is hip fire accuracy, and there's a bunch of different ones that help with that, like the fabric grip, and I think there's one other, maybe not. But the pine tar grip, it gives you recoil control and hip fire accuracy. This gun has a crazy amount of recoil, so I generally go with this one, but it doesn't matter. You could still use the fabric grip and be totally fine. It's not a big deal. Same with this one, recoil control and hip fire accuracy, but you could also use the pistol grip, right? Or you could use the M1915 steady grip. It doesn't matter, but I feel like recoil control is generally an issue, so why not use one that helps that and the hip fire accuracy? So that's kind of my methodology for this particular build. Next is the really important attachments, and that is the magazine and ammunition. So for ammunition, we're going to go with buck and slug. Now, the other big one to worry about or to be concerned about is incendiary, because this one is very strong, but it's also very inconsistent. Like when I'm testing it, yes, you can two-shot up close, right? You do enormous amounts of damage. If you're hitting that chest level, it's going to deal like enough damage to do a two-shot kill with the burn. So it's really strong, but I also found in-game, it's very inconsistent, especially against EOD. So if you want consistency with a little bit less stopping power, go with buck and slug, because you can still two-tap if you're hitting that head and neck area, which isn't really going to happen, but it's consistently a 3-shot kill up to about that 7-meter mark, which is really good. Now, the big problem here, though, is you lose pellets, and you lose about 4. So then you end up having 4 pellets with a slug. Not always the best scenario, but we do have extra pellets, which gives you 2 more pellets, which is awesome because now you have 6 pellets and a slug. It makes the gun so much more consistent, and it's so nice. Now, the other big one here is the 12 gauge round 7-round mag. The other big one here is the 12 gauge 7-round mag, which I have a feeling most people should probably be using because it's a little bit more forgiving in the sense that you have more ammo. So if you're just kind of this newbie guy running around spamming your shots, you can just reload pretty quick, almost instantly really, and you have 7 rounds, so it's really nice. But if you're a demon, if you can kind of manage that, having 5 rounds and reloading after every kill, this is the way to go. Having those extra pellets really does make a difference with consistency, I noticed, and when you have that nice type hipfire accuracy, man, this is awesome. I love it. Don't use extra range, you lose 2 more pellets, so it's really not good. Then you have the 12 gauge 10-round drum, which hurts your fire rate by an enormous amount. So I do not recommend this mag because it basically turns a spammy gun into more of a weird kind of identity crisis spammy gun. It just feels very off. It's a little too slow for my liking. I don't recommend it. Extra pellets and the 7-round mag. I have a feeling for more newbie beginner players, use a 7-round mag, but if you're a demon, if you can make it work, extra pellets is by far my favorite to run with this. It's so much fun and it's very consistent. So with that being said, that's the build for this particular gun. So if you have any questions about it, let me know down in the comments below. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty consistently a 3 to 4 shot kill. Yes, it can take 5 if you're out in that ranges where you're pushing it, but don't. You got to be up close and personal, which is going to be nice with Gung Ho and the movement speed bonuses. So really just spam your shots, get out and get into cover, reload, and then get into your next engagement. It's a lot of fun. It's a little difficult to work with if you're not used to having such a small magazine size, but it's so much fun. I love this thing. It's just a blast to run around and spam with it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this build. What do you think of the Gracey Auto in general compared to the other guns? Are there any shotguns that are on your mind, like maybe the Gallows coming back into your mind, or I don't know, the Street Sweep or anything like that? So let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.